Even when you have your biological kids, you think that it will just work. Because you have that DNA connection, even when you adopt kids, you feel like you're going to have that immediate connection. And most people don't realize either way, whether it's your bio kids or the kids you adopt, that sometimes there has to be work. There's a connection that needs to be made.
That's not a dollar bill. Still. Daddy photobomb your picture.
No, that's Cajun, y'all.
So I originally moved here in May of 2013. We met in June or July, and next thing I know, I moved in with him by August, and then we were married by November. But I was just like, oh, you're how old? And you're what? And you work where? Oh yeah, I'm locking this down.
He's funny, and he's tall, so he can get stuff off the top of the shelves.
And I can cook.
And he can cook. Oh my God, he's a MacGyver in the kitchen. We had been married, 2 years, maybe 3, when we decided it was time to expand our family. Looking for an adoption agency, I knew that I had to find someone who's going to be a partner through the process. That was the most important thing. We're a gay family, and we had to have someone who's dealt with our type of family that brought us to adoptions together.
Family is important because every child needs a family. Every child needs the stability and structure that comes with family, and children need also a launching pad.
Us being a gay family was not relevant at all. And it was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? And they walked us through the process. They allowed us to ask questions. They allowed us to express when we were uncomfortable with something or something didn't feel right. It made the whole process a lot easier for us.
Caden was the child that he and I needed.
Yeah.
He is the child that was destined to be our child.
So when we started the adoption process, we went through a lot of pictures, a lot of profiles. And when I saw Caden's picture, I knew that was the one. Everything in my spirit told me that was the one.
The matching process with our parents to the children who are throughout the country is unique for each family. Typically, families see children online on a website like Adopt US Kids. We then connect with the child social worker, the therapist, possibly the foster parents. That team also looks at our families to make sure that the family has the characteristics that would match well with the child. So once the team chooses our family, it's a match.
With Caden's adoption, it was just so effortless, so fluid. And he came from the very first moment that we met him. Yeah. It was just like he was a part of the family. Caden was in the home, Caden was adjusted, he acclimated to the family, and we're like, okay, we want to increase our family, and I still wanted a daughter. So we made the decision to adopt again. With the twins, with Jada and Jaden, we were destined to be their parents.
Yeah.
We are that stabilizing influence that I felt like that they needed. Mark instantly had this relationship with Jaden. I instantly had this relationship with Jada. And so then we had to sit there and realize we had to work on the relationship with the other twin.
Jada, she is independent, she is confident, she is okay with who she is.
To see her growth over the last year and a half, to see the young woman that she is becoming, to see that strength that she has, to see that determination that she has, that I just can't wait to see where life takes her.
Jaden is he's such a good kid. He really is. He always wants Ed to laugh. I'm very easy because he's just really so funny. It's so good to have a kid like that. He is just such a joy and has this light that, I feel like, especially as a parent, is to make sure that no one or anything dims that. not having someone who you raised for a lot of years, but when you meet and you realize, okay, you are alike. It's magical when that moment comes that you realize it. It is work leading up to that moment. It seemed at one point that it got easier over time. And then the pandemic happened.
With the pandemic and being stuck in the house, it gave us the opportunity to really get to know Jada and Jaden.
Yeah.
And this is time that we would never have had.
Any of those supports, those additional supports that we had obtained for families prior to the pandemic to keep them strong, they were gone. So families were left with their own inner supports, within the four walls of their home to keep their family stable.
We had more time with each other. We had more time with the kids as a whole. We had more time as a family. We had more time to spend with the kids individually that would have never happened. And one thing that I'm glad Ed and I did was take advantage of that. We took advantage of the time.
Mark Williams and Ed Greer are one of those families that really rose to the occasion during the pandemic. They utilized Zoom for support sessions, for check-ins. Mark and Ed talked a lot about the various games that they had to come up with to play with their kids to keep them occupied when they couldn't go outside and play with their friends. Whatever it took, Mark and Ed did it. And they successfully adopted their twins during the pandemic. 10 years from now, when things get to whatever the new normal is, I'm gonna remember, even though it's crazy, and the kids are driving me crazy. They are. And seeing them every day is driving me crazy. But I'm gonna look on that time as something that was magical, that we got to spend this time, we got to laugh, we got to joke, we got to grow together and connect in a way that we would have never connected if the pandemic didn't force us to.
No, you're not.